All right, what's up, YouTube? Today, I am making a new video. It has been a minute. And quite honestly, it's not a video that I really wanted to make, to be honest with you, because every time I get on social media and I see anything to do with the Switch 2, I make the mistake of looking at the comments or looking at the articles or looking at the title of the, announcement or something like that, and I'm just instantly filled with rage because there's so much fucking misinformation being spread about the Switch 2. And at the end of the day, if it's not misinformation, it's literally just being taken at face value and no one's investigating anything. And then you have people like this guy that I'm going to be reacting to right here. Nothing against him. Great guy. Seems like a great guy. I might subscribe to him, But the first, you'll see. I haven't watched this video completely, but you'll see when we get into it. There's just a lot of things that I'm going to be doing my best to debunk in this video. And I'm not trying to be like a Nintendo dick rider, but genuinely, it's unreal how easy it is to do a Google search and find an answer to whatever your question may be. We're gonna watch this guy's video. All right, let's get into the video.
Nintendo fans are downright pissed today, and I want to discuss why. Because when we woke up this morning and watched the Switch 2 Direct, a lot of people were initially incredibly excited about a new Mario Kart, about new games, about new teases, about new features. Part of the fun of getting a new Nintendo console is not just better graphics and stuff, it's that, hey, here's a gimmick that lets you play games different. But ever since that Switch 2 Direct ended, we've gotten nothing but bad news. It turns out that a lot of the games are actually going to be $90 for a physical copy. We learned that the $90...
Immediately gonna pause so that I can show you guys. This is not true. It's $80. I don't know what Just Press Play is, but it is $80 USD. It's $90 if they literally look in other countries, which, yes, I want to say, yeah, that sucks for the other countries, but different countries have different economies. So in the long run, essentially, that's probably very close to what the US is paying for the things. And the thing that irritates me the most about this is that it literally has the fucking, I think that's the euro sign. I believe that is the euro pound sign. I could be wrong, but it is not a US dollar sign. It's not fucking there. So this guy's literally throwing this. I imagine that this guy, Dreamcast guy, seems like a great guy, right? I gotta imagine he's probably editing these videos himself. He took this screen grab, put it in his video, edited it later, and didn't even make an editor's note. It said, oh, actually, it's not $90. It's going to be 90 pounds or 90, whatever currency that is. It's not fucking US dollars. Right here, Mario Kart World Nintendo Switch 2, $80. Boom. You can buy it on Just Press Play. I got to imagine it's a pre-order. For local pickup only. Physical copy, $80. Let's continue the video.
The $90 copies, some of them are not going to be real games. You're paying...
Also, just real quick, I had to add this on. Nintendo came out a couple days ago in an interview with Doug Bowser where he said, which, by the way, if nobody knows who that is, Doug Bowser is I think the president of Nintendo of America. Literally came out and said that not all Switch games are going to be $80 like Mario Kart World. Only the games that they feel are worth $80. And I know that sounds like a cheap out to charge more money for games, but I'm going to use Tears of the Kingdom for example. We don't get a Mario Kart game every year, all right? And my argument to that is, well, it shouldn't matter. Even if we don't get a Mario Kart game for every 7 years, it shouldn't be $80. It shouldn't go with that. And it is a game that will literally, quite literally, without a fabric of a doubt, last the entire lifespan of the Switch 2, just like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe did. That game literally stayed relevant up until the end of the Switch 1, until we're about to get the Switch 2. Oh, $80 for a game that, in theory, yes, they'll probably release DLC that you have to pay for, but will constantly get updates and new content added to it for the lifespan of the Switch 2. It's insane to me, but the same people that are bitching about the $80 price tag are the same people, the same people that buy a fucking Call of Duty every fucking year and buy the Vault Edition for $100 fucking dollars. And then on top of that, you also spend $30 here, $20 here, $10 here for every battle pass that happens every fucking 2 months. You buy a $10 battle pass, or you get the Black Cell one, which is $30. And then by the time you go through 6 seasons of Call of Duty for that game, you've spent $400 fucking dollars on one fucking game, and mostly for all visual in-game content that has no, we're not going to get into the Call of Duty shit. Mostly, all of that money you spent on the game is for visual stuff in the game that doesn't actually give you anything. It doesn't give you a new map, a new gun. It doesn't do any of that. It's just skins. The same people that are arguing, oh, $80 for a Mario Kart game, that's insane. You don't have to buy it. No one's making you buy the Mario Kart world. But the fact that you're bitching about it is proving that you want the game. So if you want the game, unfortunately, you're just going to have to pay the $80 price tag. For me, at least, knowing damn well, any other game, if it was like Final Fantasy or like a Pokemon game, there's no chance in hell I'm paying $80 for a Pokemon game. There's just no chance. So like if the new Pokemon Z through A or whatever the fuck it's called is $80, I will not be buying that. I know there's going to be people that are pissed about it, but the people that like Pokemon are going to pay the $80 because they enjoy Pokemon. This game will be relevant until the Switch 2 is on the way out, which won't be for another 7 years minimum, because that's the span that it took for the fucking Switch to die out. The Donkey Kong situation is same thing as Mario Kart. I'm not a huge fan of Donkey Kong. It's $10 cheaper than Mario Kart, technically. It's $69.99, so it's the same price as Tears of the Kingdom. So many people are thinking just because these games are going to be Switch 2 titles, right? So they're going to charge slightly more. They charge $70 for Tears of the Kingdom that came out on the Switch. I love Zelda, right? I know that game, that specific Zelda game, was going to have a ton of replayability. There's so many hours that you can log into that game. That game could have been $100 and I would have bought it without blinking my eye, because I knew that I wanted it and I knew that it was going to help me make memories of a game that I truly love, right? But the fact that people are getting on here and because they released the price for Mario Kart World as $80 and then Donkey Kong Bonanza for $69.99, people are just like, oh, that's the new price of Switch 2 games. Doug Bowser literally came out and said that they're doing variable pricing, which Nintendo has always fucking done. And if you don't believe me, let's take a look at this image that I have saved on my fucking computer, because people are not gonna fucking believe me. So we're gonna look at this picture right here, okay? This is a picture from a Toys R Us ad from the 1990s, right? The Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Boom. Let's fucking largen this up. A Super Nintendo Entertainment System was $129 fucking dollars, okay? Now, this is 1990s. Let's take a look at what minimum wage was in 1990. Minimum wage in 1990 was $3.80 per hour on average, okay? And then we're going to Google, just for context, how much was a Big Mac in the 1990s in the USA? The average Big Mac in the USA in 1990 was around $1.60, right? So, okay, keep in mind that we're in the 1990s here. We are making $3.80 an hour, and this fucking console that plays at 16 bits, which is dog shit today, what was amazing back then, almost kind of in the situation we are for the Switch 2, for $129. That is expensive as fuck for the time, okay? For that console, that is expensive as fuck. But that's not what we're really looking at. Fuck the console price. Look at these games, okay? We have Marvel Superheroes for $59.99. We have Madden 97 for $59.99. Street Fighter Alpha 2 for $69.99. $70 for a 16-bit game, okay? I need you guys to keep that in memory, because it hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. Over almost 30 years ago, we're paying $70 for a fucking Nintendo game. I don't understand where we are being lost in the sauce about, oh my God, why are we paying $80 for a game? Why are we paying $70 for a game? So I just wanted to show this because a lot of people are just being completely ignorant to these game prices, and it's like pissing me off beyond belief. And also, again, I'm not defending Nintendo's company businesses, like their business practices or whatever. I'm not sitting here supporting that, but I'm tired of everybody making comments like it's some new thing, all right? It's what Nintendo does. And again, at the end of all of this, no one's forcing you to buy any of this shit. No one is forcing you to buy this shit. Yes, be pissed about it, but at the end of the day, you're either going to buy it and be slightly upset that you paid a little bit more money for it, or you're just not going to buy it. And if you're not going to buy it because it's too expensive for you, then shut the fuck up.
$90 for an empty box with a game code in it. The console itself is expensive. You have to pay for the patches to upgrade it. So if you're trying to play a game like Zelda, that's better on the Switch 2, but it's going to probably cost you $20 to upgrade it.
It's $10 if you don't have a Nintendo Switch Online service, which 90% of the people that have Switches that play stuff online are already going to have, so this argument is pretty fucking irrelevant. Just had to make that point.
I want to go through all of it because I collected a bunch of different reactions of people straight up saying, I am not buying the Nintendo Switch 2. And I'm sort of shocked. I got to admit, I'm actually kind of blown away, because a lot of people that typically would be hesitantly optimistic seem to be downright negative. But let's get into some hot takes. Now let's get into it. So this is a nice bullet list about things that were not in the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct that, in my opinion, these absolutely should have been. First off, Mario Kart World is $80. Physical games are going to be $90. You had to pay for upgrade patches. That kind of sucks. They are saying that some of them are going to be free. Specifically, the Nintendo website says that if you pay for that Nintendo Switch Online service, certain games are going to have a free upgraded Switch 2 patch. But here's the thing that is pissing off a lot of the internet instantly. Game cards are just keys for proxy downloads. Now, this has happened periodically with the Nintendo Switch 1, which is where when you buy it, it's not actually a cart. Now, some stuff is. Like, obviously, this is a Nintendo Switch. You pop it open, you get a little cart out. The game is on it. This little thingy here is not just a little cart. It's not a token. It is the actual data, meaning that if I put this in and I'm on a plane, I have no Wi-Fi, it'll still download, it'll still play, it'll still save, it'll still do everything. These games aren't that. These not only require an internet connection to download the game itself, the cartridge is useless without an internet connection. In fact, some people are saying this is DRM. Whatever hype I had for the system just died. I get this might not be very close to release, or I get this might not be every release, but I hate DRM being normalized. If I'm going to buy in a digital-only future where physical releases are this gimped, I'll stick to PC and Steam Deck. Yep, this is pretty discouraging. And this is it. They've literally released a box showing you, hey, these cartridges do not have data on them. They're going to sell you $90 keys. They're going to sell you an empty box with probably an instruction booklet and some cool art to put on your shelf, but it's going to cost $90.
Not going to cost $90. I already touched on it, but dude, every time he says it, it pisses me off beyond belief. It's not going to be $90. It's $90 in other states. It's not or in other countries or territories. It's not fucking $90 in the USA. And for context, it's fucking only $80 for physical if it's a special game that Nintendo sees fit charging $80 for. And the only two fucking games that they have been dick riding about that is Donkey Kong Bonanza and fucking Mario Kart World. And it's because it's quite honestly the only two games that have been built up from the ground that they have announced so far for the Switch 2. Which makes fucking sense because it's two of their biggest franchises. Mario and fucking Donkey Kong, which Donkey Kong derived from Mario or vice versa. And it's literally what Nintendo is known for. Mario is the fucking face of the company. So it makes sense that they're charging more money for it. If they're charging more money for Zelda, which is a very niche game, considered comparable to Mario, there's people that know what Mario is and Nintendo is, but have never heard of Zelda. It's just crazy. If they're charging $10 more for a Zelda game that was on the last generation console, yes, obviously they're going to charge more for a game that's set to be better on their new game, on their new console or whatever. And then as far as the digital key thing that he's explaining right now, that's really up in the air right now, believe it or not. I'm not making this up. I've been looking at articles trying to find official statements from Nintendo. All of the people that have responded about the digital key card or the physical key card games, people believe that there's miscommunication from the customer service to the people complaining about this because there's no real picture or this thing that they're showing at the bottom here where it says full game download via internet required. That's been shown on physical boxes that have been, pictured for physical games for the Switch 2, and that's nowhere on the box. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that it's like a legal thing that you have to put that on the box, and the fact that they don't have that on the box is, basically tells us that there is going to be key cards, not key cards, I keep calling them key cards, believe that there's going to be physical game cartridges for the Switch 2 that actually do have data on it. And then furthering that, there was an announcement from Project CD Red or CD Projekt Red, whatever the fuck it is, people that make Cyberpunk, that said that there's going to be a Switch 2 cartridge that has 64 gigabytes of the entire game of, Cyberpunk that's going to be on the cartridge. So I feel like this whole argument about the whole digital versus physical not being actual physical, I feel like that's all going to be fucking bullshit. I feel like somebody probably posted something like this and it just caught wind and everybody was like, oh my god, this is fucking bullshit. There's no official statement from Nintendo yet saying that there's going to be, and to my knowledge, I haven't been able to see it, but I don't think there's any official statement from Nintendo directly whether that be Nintendo of America or Nintendo of Japan, I don't think there's going to be any cards that are literally just game key cards. And if they are game key cards, I have a feeling what they're going to do is they're going to offer a game key card for the same price as a digital, but it's literally that. It's just a key card to get you to download it digitally, but it will make you feel like you have a physical card, if that makes sense. For people that are not following, basically, short answer, yes, you can get physical card, boom, boom, in Switch, play instant. Or you can buy digital game key card, put in Switch, download.
Been showed during the Nintendo Switch Direct people are pissed about, which this is one of them. Welcome Tour. This is a collection of tech demos, minigames, and
okay, I'm going to completely skip over this section because I agree with whatever he's about to say about this 100%. The tech demo should not cost any money. Absolutely not. I'm not going to sit here and defend this at all because it's fucking absolutely stupid. When you buy, listen, when I walk into Best Buy or wherever I end up getting my Switch 2 from on launch day, the last thing I'm already going to want to do is play a fucking tech demo, let alone pay $10 for it. I don't care how cool the little mini games are in it. When you're giving me an option like Mario Kart on launch day, a brand new Mario Kart that we haven't had in over 8 years, dude, who the fuck is playing this? Who is paying $10 for this? Literally no one. So I agree 100%. Anything this guy says on this, I'm 100% agreeing with. It should not cost any money for the welcome tour. It's stupid. No one's going to play this. You're going to have like 40 players maybe play this game total.
They are so dumb. Switch worked well because
they are so dumb. Switch worked so well because it was low entry cost. It was the cheap alternative to PlayStation/Xbox who kept raising prices. Now they're just another PlayStation/Xbox, but worse, and leading the industry with insanely high game prices no one else has done yet. My argument to this, dude, oh my God, I'm so glad that this was one of the comments because there's so many things. I get lost in translation because there's so many things that fucking piss me off, right? So you're saying just because Nintendo started charging slightly more for certain games, and that's going to lead the other industry into doing that, which, might I add, is not set to be true. There could be people that work at Xbox and Sony or Microsoft and Sony or whatever that want to stay true to themselves and be like, hey, we see that Nintendo got a huge amount of backlash for raising their prices, so we're not going to raise the prices. But I use this as an example with my friend the other day. What happens when GTA 6 finally comes out and they charge $100 for that game? And then my friend responded with, well, that's a little bit different because it's GTA. Why is it different though? And he goes, well, because, you know, it's been taking forever to come out. Exactly my fucking point. Yes, GTA 6 has taken way longer to come out than the next Switch game, but that doesn't justify them to raise the prices for the game if it's slightly better than, like, you know, previous generation games. And the only argument that I have to that is no one is going to bat an eye if GTA 6 is listed at $100 MSRP or whatever, because everyone's so excited for it, right? But when GTA 6 does that, Rockstar Games does that, everyone in the fucking industry is like, oh, they got people to pay $100 for this game, no questions asked. We'll just raise our games to $90. But then you guys probably wouldn't bitch at all when that happens, right? But you're gonna bitch when Nintendo does it. The problem that I have is that this comment right here, Switch worked so well because it was low entry cost. It was the cheap alternative to PlayStation as Xbox. That's your first mistake right there, buddy. First fucking mistake. Switch is in its own lane. All Nintendo consoles are in their own fucking lane. No one says, I'm so glad that I can play this game on my Switch instead of my PlayStation, or I can play this game on my Switch instead of my Xbox. People buy Switches to make memories with. The games that are on Switch are games that you make memories through. They're not games that you sweat your dick off in. 90% of the people that have a PlayStation or Xbox are gonna think, like, when you say, what do you play on your PlayStation or Xbox? It's gonna be one of three games: Apex Legends, Warzone, Call of Duty, or Fortnite. And then obviously there's people that will be like, oh, I got it for the exclusive games like The Last of Us. But that only lasts for so long. You beat the game, you 100% it, you're gonna get bored with it, right? So the problem that I have is when people fucking compare Nintendo games, specifically the Switch or Switch 2, to other rivaling consoles. They're not rivals. They're not even in the same bracket. The Switch would never compete with games like that because that console is made for hardcore gamers, right? And might I fucking add, let's take a look real quick, guys. Comparing it to Xbox and Sony, the Xbox Series X, $499. But guess what? It doesn't end there, guys, because guess what? If you want to play online, you have to pay for the fucking online service. Let's take a look at how much the PlayStation 5 is. PS5 Pro, $700. PS5 Slim Console, $500. Slim Console Digital Edition, $450. And then you also have to pay for online service there. So, like, every time somebody makes the argument, it's like, oh, you have to pay $450 for the Switch, and then you also have to pay for the online service. You're already fucking doing that. You do that on Sony, and you do that on fucking Microsoft. You have to pay money to play online. It's how they fucking keep their goddamn servers up so that you have games to play online. It just makes sense.
It was a cheap alternative to PlayStation and Xbox, who kept raising
Yes,
prices.
and it was a cheap alternative, bro. And the thing that pisses me off about this, he says cheap alternative. I promise you, this Ghost of Hope guy is one of the fucking assholes that bitched about how terrible games ran on the last 3 years of the Switch's life. Every game that came out on the Switch ran like shit unless it was a game developed from Nintendo. Hogwarts Legacy ran like shit. Any other big game, Kingdom Hearts games, ran like shit on the Switch. Every fucking game. Fortnite runs like shit on the Switch. You are the same person that bitched about shit running like shit on the Switch. They finally released a Switch that's slightly more expensive, $100 to be exact, that runs games very well for the fucking time frame that it's in and how the size of it and everything, and you're bitching about it. It doesn't make any fucking sense, dude.
The Ghost of Hope. This is such a brilliant point.
No, it's
a big
not.
chunk of the success of the original Nintendo Switch, the reason it's sold almost, 170 million Nintendo Switches have been sold. I do think a lot of that comes down to the fact that it was the cheap gaming alternative where you could buy a console for $300 or buy a Switch Lite for $200. I know so many people, almost every single friend I have, not only has a Nintendo Switch, has multiple Nintendo Switches. Or if they've got kids, there's the main Nintendo Switch that the kids play together on the TV, but then some of the little kiddos also have their own individual Switch Lite so they can play it and enjoy those games and pass the save files back and forth, making the system so expensive.
And also, they keep saying this whole thing. Like, I don't understand why people think that, like, as soon as the Switch 2 comes out, the Switch 1 is going offline. Like, they're going to continue support for the Switch 1 for probably close to 2 or 3 years before they actually shut it off. They will eventually shut it off like they did the 3DS and, like, the eShop or whatever and stop manufacturing them. But in my head, I think the image they're going for is Switch Lite through Switch OLED is going to be your cheaper version of the Switch, right? You can get it, and you could potentially play games that, I don't know, they haven't announced it yet, but I have to imagine that games that come out, there might be like a Switch 1 version or like a Switch, like, you'll have better enhanced graphics and stuff on the Switch 2, but you'll have like Switch 1 options, right? They're not saying, hey, everybody throw their fucking Switches out and buy the Switch 2, right? That's the thing that's pissing me off, is with all of these people like coming at them for this, is like it's like they're being held at gunpoint. It's like, if you own a Switch 1, you gotta fucking get rid of it and buy a Switch 2. No one's saying that. There's still probably thousands of games that you can play on the Switch 1. No one is telling you to get rid of it. But on the flip side, you're also the one bitching about how shitty the Switch 1 works. But then you're also going to bitch when they finally give you something that runs your games better, and you're bitching because it's more expensive and that certain games are going to be slightly expensive.
Available, fun, cheap entry gateway drug. You guys have no idea. I go to a lot of gaming conventions. The amount of people that have walked up to me, it must be at this point in the hundreds. People that said, I haven't played games in 10 years, 20 years. I used to play games back in high school. Then I went to college and had a family. I didn't have a chance to really sit down to take over the living room TV and play stuff until I got a Nintendo Switch. And now I play it when I travel. I play it when I'm waiting for my kids to finish band practice. The Nintendo
Right, and the argument he's making right here, oh my god, the argument he's making right here is literally the bread and butter of this fucking whole conversation, right? The Switch was so popular, it blew up because it was the opposite of what the Wii was. The Wii was the family getting around the TV and you guys play Wii bowling and all that shit. Time went on and life got busier for everyone and nobody had the time to fucking hook their shit up to the TV. While the Switch does allow that for people that have, may not have families or anything like that, you can hook your Switch up to the TV and play it like a console, right? But 90% of the people are going to be using this shit in handheld. And the people that are using in handheld are most likely living fast-paced lives. The people that live fast-paced lives are not the people that are going to give a shit that they're playing Elden Ring in 1080p at 60 frames or playing Elden Ring in 4K, 8K at fucking 400 frames per second, right? The people that give a shit about that shouldn't even be looking at Nintendo consoles in the first place. You should be fucking putting $5,000 aside just for your graphics card and then another $7,000 for your CPU and then another fucking $8,000 for the rest of the parts that you want to have to achieve that fucking frame rate. But my bad, I forgot. You don't want to pay $10,000 for that because Nintendo Switch should give it to you for $400. You guys are fucking morons.
Let me go. I have a bunch more hot takes. This is Mr. Matty Plays. I like the fact that he phrased it like this. He is a huge advocate for physical games. He's talked about it in a lot on his YouTube channel about the fact that he likes Xbox Game Pass. He's done a lot of Xbox-focused content, but he's basically, if I can buy a game, I always do buy a game. Hell no. Not for $90, not just for code in a box. That's the whole idea. The industry wants to cut out retailers and push you towards digital sales. I'm still excited for the Nintendo Switch 2, but this is a bummer because it will have a ripple effect. Something about Nintendo pulling the $80 trigger first rubs me the wrong way, at least with AAA games.
The thing that pisses me off is the way that he worded this. Something about Nintendo pulling the $80 trigger first rubs me the wrong way. At least with AAA games, they've ballooned so much and there's more justification there. I imagine the rest of the industry is going to pull the trigger too. Expect $80 PS5 and PC games now. Dude, you sound like the biggest pussy I've ever fucking met in my life. So you're literally verbatim saying that you're just pissed that somebody pulled the $80 tag first because it was Nintendo. Going back to my GTA thing, when GTA 6 comes out, there's not a fucking, even before this, even before they announced that Mario Kart World was going to be $80, there's not a fucking world in my mind that I live in, right, where they're going to sell GTA 6 for $60. That shit is going to be $100. It's going to be $100 for a base edition, and then if they make some type of deluxe edition or some shit, probably going to be like $150, right? So it's okay if Rockstar does it, only because we've been waiting for it for 10 fucking years, right? It'd be fine if Rockstar did it, and then, you know, everybody followed Rockstar in the industry. Oh, well, Rockstar sold their game for $100, so let's list our game for $100. You guys wouldn't be bitching then, right? No, you wouldn't, because you guys are fucking pushovers. It's literally just because Nintendo did it. And might I add, for this 9,000th time, not all games are gonna be $80. They're not all gonna be $80. Just games that will last literally the entire lifespan of the console. But you guys don't want to read the fucking fine print. And also, quick pit stop here. Quick pit stop. Let's take a look real quick. Let's just take a look-see, shall we? Actually, that's crazy. Rebirth actually just came out way before the Switch 2 Direct came out, and it's $70. It's $70 on on PC. Dude, it's like these people are fucking so dumb. So dumb. Like it's already happening. Does feel weird that they were the first to do it. Feels wrong, honestly. They literally have been doing this shit since they were a fucking gaming company, guys.
I love this tweet by David Vint. This guy does like an RPG YouTube channel. I love his work a lot. This is Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
Claire Obscure Expedition. Let's take a look at that, guys. No user reviews. It's not even fucking out yet. It's $44.99, right? What are the odds that you're playing this fucking game, Claire Obscure Expedition 33, in 2028? What's the odds that you're still playing it every day religiously? Probably fucking low. No one's probably going to be playing this game in 2028. Now, what are the odds that somebody's playing this game in 2028? Probably at least 80% of the fucking population of the entire world will be playing this game in 2028 still. You know why? Because it's fucking fun to play. It's fun to play with friends. It's fun to play with family. It's fun to play by yourself. It's fun to play with your significant other. It's fun to play with people you've never met before. It's literally a fucking game that will last literal years. I hate comparisons like this. One of these games is $40 and the other is $80. Yeah, you know why this one's $40? $44.99 to be exact, fucker. It's $45.99 because no one's going to be playing it 3 weeks after you buy it. You're going to buy it, play the shit out of it, and then delete it off your fucking computer and then play something else. Probably Call of Duty or Fortnite. $80, Mario Kart right there. You're going to be playing until you could potentially have your own fucking kids. And then your kids can play that game. You cannot compare a story lore rich fucking RPG that would put most people to sleep and then expect people of Mario Kart level, people that literally my parents could play Mario Kart, okay? You're going to say that my parents would rather play a fucking $45 RPG because it looks nicer than Mario Kart than play Mario Kart. You're just stupid as fuck, dude. These people, this is what I've been seeing all fucking week, are these dumb fucking stupid comparisons that make no goddamn sense. No one that's interested in Mario Kart is interested in a fucking RPG about killing a death princess that's painting death over the world. You're wanting to play Mario Kart to race down a racetrack as Bowser and fuck on people with blue shells, okay? That's what they want to do. $450 for the console isn't even bad. I'll gladly play that, but ranging $70 to 90 games, 90 for games, which again, for the ever-living father fucking time, the games are not 90 goddamn dollars. The physical edition is not $90. It is $80. Yes, that is expensive. But it is 4 games that will literally last the 7-year lifespan of the new console, okay? Mario Kart is not an $80 game that you will play for fucking 20 hours and then never touch again. The game that you will pay $45.99 for, half of the price of $80, but will play for 20 hours and then never touch again, that fuck-ass game they just compared it to. No one is defending it. It's unacceptable, and it's unreal to me that people are okay with it. Sounds like you're not okay with it, and if you're not okay with it, again, no one is forcing you to buy that shit. The people bitching about the prices of the games are also people that have probably bought 3 Switch 2 price console retail $450 times 3 in other games combined, like Fortnite, Warzone, Rocket League, all that shit, Apex Legends. I know Apex Legend motherfuckers don't play around. You guys pay $500 for a fucking knife that you can twirl around, bro. And usually 90% of the time it's just for visual skins. It doesn't make sense, dude.
Still kind of. I'm not paying $90 for that, man. I'm the biggest Final Fantasy fanatic. Final Fantasy is my favorite thing ever. FF7 specifically is my favorite game of all time. That's literally, even this cart I popped out at the beginning of the video is the cart for Final Fantasy 7. I'm not paying $90 for that physically. I'm just.
It's not $90. It's not $90. It's not $90.
It's not. It's just not worth to play that game. I'd rather play it on my Steam Deck.
Hey guys, Editing Brendan here. I had to put this little clip in because I thought it was funny when I was watching this back while I was editing. He literally contradicts himself because he likes physical games. He loves having physical games. As you guys are about to see, pre-Rage Brendan, if you're a physical person and you like having physical games, I'd rather just play it on my Steam Deck, he says. Buddy, get a little close here. I don't know if you know this, but there's no physical games on Steam, buddy. You can't buy physical games on Steam. So how you gonna do that one? Fucking idiots, bro. They literally talk themselves into fucking circles. It's hilarious.
It's cheaper.
So buy it on the Steam Deck! Holy shit! You can only play one fucking video game at a time. Why would you need it on a second console if you already have it on another console? I'd rather play it on my Steam Deck. You can only play it once, jackass. You can't play it 2 at a time. You can't play it 2 at a time. Just play it on your fucking Steam Deck. Holy shit.
Deflated my height.
Dude, also, I'm glad that he showed this frame. I'm about done with this video. There are people right now. I want you guys to understand this. There are people right fucking now that think every single tile, every single one of these games is going to be $80 just because it's playable on the Switch 2. They think Yakuza is going to be $80. They think Monster Hunter is going to be $80. I don't know what game this is. I think Elden Ring maybe. They think Elden Ring is going to be $80. Fortnite. They probably think Fortnite is going to be $80. It's a free-to-play game, and they're going to be like, oh, $80 for Fortnite. I believe this is, what is it, Hollow Knight, Silk Song, that new game that everybody wants. They think that's going to be $80 probably. They think that this little racing F-Zero game is going to be $80. Human Fall Flat 2, that's 100% going to be $80. Like, there's literally fucking brain-rotted fuckers out there that think that every single one of these games on the soft maker lineup is going to be $80. Dude, honestly, and what's crazy to me is that it will take the literal Switch 2 coming out. It's literally going to take the Switch 2 coming out for people to finally realize, oh, it was just Mario Kart that was $80? Oh, well, now I'm kind of interested. But listen, at the end of the day, I'm not even bitching. I genuinely am not even bitching because all these people, please, actually, at the end of the day, you piss me off with some of the dumb shit you say, but please keep saying it because then that gives me and my brother-in-law an opportunity to actually get one on day one instead of having to deal with a bunch of people, you know, setting up 17,000 bots to try and buy 18 fucking Switch 2s. If you guys want to sit this one out, we're more than happy. Me and my brother-in-law will be more than happy to go to Best Buy, GameStop, Target, wherever we got to go, June 5th, morning of, and get our Switch 2 because we're not pussies.